Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. How about you? How you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. How was the weekend?
It was, I'm part of I'm participating permissionlessly in Ethereum Protocol Fellowship. So I've been learning a lot of cryptography, and so it's been a lot. Well, it's good.
That's really cool. So what kind of cryptography are you learning right now?
Okay, so I started with like the basics, so doing like basic ciphers, but this past week I've been able to implement the Hellman. I'm currently implementing RSA, and I finally understand the gist around elliptic curve cryptography. And yeah, just so the project I'm interested in working on there is like a very cool library implementation, but there are still like um a lot of people are interested in the project, so I might just pivot, but basically I've just been learning everything leading up to, they'll be using pedestrian commitment. So I was just learning a lot that will lead me to learn pedestrian commitment, because if I just start there,
Okay.
it's going to be hard. So yeah.
Are you actually implementing it? Like, are you coding it in Rust or something? Like
Okay,
R for
so
R for RSA, I guess.
I've been learning and just doing like Python implementations.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Do you have one like mentor at the Ethereum Foundation who helps, or is it just a communal thing?
Yeah, so you're supposed to have done a lot of research before reaching out to your mentor. And like I said, a lot of people are interested in that particular project. So uh, like I might not work on it because a lot of people are already working on it, or I might collaborate. So I just reached out to the mentor, and it was like a lot of people are interested in this. Do I have another thing in mind? But we just see how it goes. But so far, it's just been me just trying to research and learn about it.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Good to see everyone. We were just talking with Easy about he's doing, what's it called again? It's the protocol fellowship.
Ethereum Protocol Fellowship. Though I'm participating permissionlessly, so it's not like I'm not a fellow, but you can participate without getting stipend. So you just participate, and yeah, you just participate without the only thing you don't get is that you're not giving stipend, but you get the same benefit as every other person.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Well, thanks for joining everybody. We don't have a ton of backlog today. The only thing new is Tony's PR. It looks good to me. I think it cleans up a lot of stuff. So, really for that, I'm just gonna merge that because I think it cleans up how we initialize the clients. So I'm not really gonna go through the backlog. We might do it a little differently since everyone has kind of different spikes and different things they're working on. So we might just do an update from each contributor today. And I will start. So I posted in the Telegram channel the repo for the Chrome extension. It's called Beerus-X. I've bootstrapped that repo. So right now it's just Alex and I. It looks like Alex is not on the call. So right now it's just Alex and I that are working on that. But again, anyone that's interested in working on the Chrome extension is welcome to hop on board. There is a bit of an issue with WASM compatibility on the Helios side. So I'm not sure if you guys are in the Helios Telegram. If you'd like to be in the Helios Telegram, I'll post it in our Telegram. But basically what happened is Helios broke the WASM compatibility. And so they're doing a refactor to basically add support back in for that. And then we'll have to do the same on our side. But does anyone have any questions or interest in working on the Chrome extension? Yeah.
What's kind of like the tech there? Is it a lot of JavaScript, TypeScript, or is it mostly like, I guess the Rust compiles down into WASM and then has like a JavaScript interface? Is that how an extension works?
That's exactly it. So the extension itself is all, I mean, there's a little bit of an HTML shim, but it's almost all JavaScript. That can be TypeScript, but I kind of am lazy and don't really want to make that jump. But if anyone here is interested in making a TypeScript, that'd be awesome. And then, yeah, exactly like you said. So there's the Beerus section of it that compiles down to WASM. and then there's a JavaScript interface to the WASM module.
Cool. Yeah, I'd look at it. Yeah, maybe I could jump into it at some point, but you guys might get far enough without me before, because I got some other stuff I've sort of been looking at. But yeah, I'll take a look at some point.
Okay. It's in the Telegram. Again, it's just Beerus-X, Beerus-X if you're looking for the repo.
Sure.
Yeah, and ping me if you have any questions. In fact, we can just yeah, maybe once we've gone through the blocker of the WASM compatibility, I'll do a little bit of a demo on it next community call and how like the development workflow works with it. So I won't do that today. That's it from my side. So let's go to Alex. Alex, not sure if you heard, we're doing a contributor update. What's everyone working on? What's the status of your projects? And I believe you are muted. All right, let's go to Robin.
With Alex.
Oh, sure. So I did not move a lot this week. We managed to fix my PR and manage it to be able to have the Hurl tests running periodically every day as a cron. And we still have 7 RPC calls failing for those Hurl calls. So I created issues to track the error, describe what's the error message, and basically how to proceed to look into it, which is basically just running Beerus and executing the Hurl script and see what's going wrong. And most likely it's coming from the Hurl requests themselves. I had a look at some of them, and basically, for instance, one of them, the payload, was requesting some data which was too broad and resulted in a failure. So it's most likely coming from the Hurl requests themselves and not Beerus core. And once we address those issues, or if we one possibility could be that this can't be addressed reliably because we query dynamic state. But once we have an exhaustive look as what can be fixed and what can't be fixed without a devnet, we can start working on a devnet implementation, which should be pretty straightforward.
There was Abdel brought this up. Maybe we should target Katana instead of devnet. What are your thoughts on that?
Could you explain the difference, maybe?
The difference is really just who's written it and who maintains it. But Katana, I mean, I know that DevNet's kind of been giving you some issues with its implementation, and like the interface isn't quite exactly like the gateway was, and the interface is not exactly like the P2P network is supposed to be. Katana is just another DevNet that's written by the Dojo team. It's supposed to be pretty good. It's written in Rust. The other one is written in Python.
Yeah, say no more.
No,
Okay.
To comment on that, I started working with Katana last month, and I just cannot, go out with making Heroku without Katana today. So I think it can be a very good move, and it's very easy to understand how it works, and the team is very reactive. So if there is a problem, like in a few days, you have stuff fixed, etc. So it can be a very good move. It can be a very good move.
Yeah, it sounds aligned with the choice of Anvil as well for the Ethereum part. So
Yeah,
yeah, totally agree.
And to go even further than that, I think that because we're Jonathan from StarkNet.rs is bootstrapping StarkNet Foundry, and I believe StarkNet Foundry is going to target Katana. So it will essentially exactly be Anvil.
Oh, sounds great.
Sweet.
Is that right, Glim?
Yes, from what I understood. I didn't see Jonathan in the community call of StarkNet Foundry, but I think yes, he's with this. So yeah, definitely. Katana, I think for now it's more usable and it will be more robust for testing.
Okay, cool. Cool. Anything else on your side, Robin?
No, not at all.
Luke, do you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So I kind of like posted about a SNIP because of like something we talked about with like I don't know, some spike or something I did a while ago. And then I was sort of thinking about it and was kind of beginning to wonder, does it make sense? Because like, I understand that like, you know, we have to query StarkNet nodes, and maybe my understanding of the ecosystem is off, and that can be fixed. But we just query the StarkNet nodes for all this information we need. And I think it's basically defined in like API.rs and then mod.rs or like Beerus.rs, like the information we need from the nodes, right? And the nodes should implement all of these endpoints that we're pinging via the StarkNet specs, right? So would it make sense actually to make a SNIP? Because we basically like be saying like, hey, if you're not implementing these endpoints from the specs, then implement it, please, you know, for like a light client. So does it make sense to go down the path further of a SNIP? And I don't know, basically be like, hey, SNIP 8 is like light client compatible node implementations, or does it just make sense to like harp on people, you know? So yeah, I kind of had that thought while I was doing this, while I was kind of like researching the ecosystem and like, you know, what we need in terms of like our implementation. But I mean, I could be all wrong. I could misunderstand some stuff, but that's kind of where I got with that. So I don't know if there are thoughts or anyone would fill me in on something I'm missing.
I think it's a good point. I think it's probably too early for the SNIP because like when you, so in that near presentation, you were going over the LightClientView that the full nodes, basically an API that the full nodes have to present a LightClientView, right?
Yeah.
What is the payload? What is the interface that the light clients need from the near full nodes that's useful to
It
them?
sounded like I'd have to look again, but it sounded like just like a relatively recent block view, like because the nodes there like rely on like the end of the epoch block for their synchronization. So I guess they're just getting that, and there's some sort of timing side to that.
Okay.
So I guess it's basically the final epoch of the final block of the epoch for the near. So maybe it doesn't really, yeah, I don't know.
No, that makes sense. So I think since none of that is actually defined in our spec, right? Like we right now just have a centralized sequencer, and there's not a really hard spec on what we're going to do around decentralization of the sequencers. I think we can essentially close that for now. The alternative would be to look at Madara. Are you familiar with Madara?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So Madara comes to consensus around two different palettes. It's the Aura palette, which is a leader election palette, and the Grandpa palette, which is a finality palette. So that decentralization and consensus protocol is well defined. So that would be something that you could look at and say, these are the things that a light client would be interested around that consensus. But alternatively, I think we could just kind of close the spike as it being too early to implement, and we could kind of focus on, you know, core development.
Sure. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Okay, yeah, I'll glance at that stuff and see. I'll just put it in my mind somewhere for later maybe. But yeah, cool. So that happened. Something else. Oh yeah, I did have a question. It's like, so I was sort of thinking about the whole ecosystem and like the checkpoints, and then kind of like how Beerus is basically sort of synchronizing, you know, two sides, right? The core contract on the Ethereum side and the information that it's pinging from nodes. And then also, I think if I understand correctly, there's also like the 4 hours involved to generate start proofs, I guess, by the sharp prover. So like, do we, and it seems like a lot of like the core implementation relied on like sort of mock configs. So do we have like a timing, and I guess maybe this is what you're talking about with Aurora and Grandpa, do we have like a timing consensus sort of concern throughout this whole project of like just basically bringing these endpoint information payloads together at a reasonable time? Or is that kind of not a concern because we're accessing proofs? Does that question make sense?
It does, and it is a problem for us, right? Like we can give the UX is bad if the time of proofs is long, right? Because we can give a light client guarantee that this storage slot in memory is available as of the last proof. So if the proof
right.
times are long, then that UX is also long, right? We can give, I mean, we can make Beerus as user friendly as possible, right? So like if a wallet implementer wants to find out the soft finality or like accept, so there's the status of the life cycle of a transaction on Ethereum or on Starknet goes not found, pending, accepted on L2 and then accepted on L1. So since we're in contact with a full node anyway, we can essentially say, you know, this is what the status of that transaction is at L2, even though it's not proved yet. And then once we get to L1, that's when Beerus can really shine and be like, you know, this is, we've given you the entire assurances of a light client. The other answer is that, you know, a lot of our configs are set to Gurley because Gurley proof times are much shorter. We prove a lot more often to Gurley.
Gotcha.
Eventually mainnet will prove more often as well, right? When there's more TVL, when there's more things going on mainnet, we will prove more often on mainnet.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a good question and it's something we need to think about, including in like the UX of what we present to the user. We could essentially say this is the soft finality and this is the hard finality of your storage slot. But we need to know what's useful.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So I guess this kind of like the main thing. I don't think I had another question necessarily, but I was wondering, so I still have the ZK spike to go for like my action items for the next week or so. I was wondering if I could also do a little bit more testing. I think because I was sort of peeking around at mod.rs was only like 50% covered. So I was wondering if I could try to assign that to myself as an issue or something. Would that be cool?
100%. Let me, I'll get the issue and I'll assign it to you.
Oh,
So
thanks.
Testing around mod.rs.
Yeah, mod.rs was the one I was kind of looking at it. And if I remember correctly, it was only like 50 because like their storage proof was basically done. And then it was in the Starknet light client subdirectory. And then like error had 0 and then mod.rs had like 50, if I remember. I thought maybe if that's accurate, I try to hit up mod.rs.
Yep, I will get that issue out and assigned to you.
Oh, thanks.
Those kind of questions around decentralization are going to be really important, because that is like, you know, where Beerus can shine. So I think I sent out the Ilya's decentralization posts, and it's kind of meaty and it's kind of hard to get through, honestly. But if you can take the time, the 5th checkpoint in here, I'm going to send it out in the chat, goes over checkpoints. I think this probably is not going to be how it looks once the protocol is actually implemented, but it's also just a conversation with the builders, right? Like what makes sense. But if we have checkpoints, so the way that transaction works, right, is it's generated by a client. Transaction is going to end up being sent to a decentralized sequencer network. Right now, it's just sent to a centralized gateway. That transaction will be validated and put into a block, and then that block will be proved by the prover. But that's the asynchronous part, right? Is like we don't know exactly how long that's going to take for the block to be proved. If we have checkpoints, the sequencers can basically checkpoint it when they get it, and then do a hard checkpoint on the other side. That's what we don't have right now. But Beerus then could say, okay, not only do we have soft finality at L2, we also have a checkpoint of that at L2, and that gives it Beerus light client a much more kind of nicer usability.
Okay, so it's checkpoints on both sides, the Ethereum side and the Starknet side. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. But the one
Cool.
the one that we would really care about would be the Ethereum side.
Right. Cool.
Cool. Cool. Glim, do you want to go?
Yes, but I just reviewed the Tony PR, which was nice. I also checked the last one. I didn't approve because I didn't know if you were expecting to, but from what you say, I think we can just merge it. And I was just wondering, Tony, if you think it's worthy, to keep an example with initialization with the two parts and not directly from the config.
I could edit too. I mean,
Just.
I just don't know. Would it be useful for users to use their own light client implementation? So I thought maybe it's not worth it, but I don't know.
No, that's right. You're right. For now, I think it's just keep things simple. You're right. You're right. No, it's just like this. So I just review this, and I'm sorry, I just don't have lots of bandwidth on Beerus for now, but I'm here also to keep up to date forward.
Nope. No problem. No problem. Thank you for doing that. Tony, do you want to just go next? Talk about this PR.
I'm sorry.
What was that? Do you want to give us an update on the PR? Maybe just describe for those who haven't gone in and looked at the work. Do you want to just describe what it does, what it is?
Oh, it's just it's a simple PR which discards the starting of the Beerus with a light client and I mean the implementation. So it just to keep tests the same. I just added a function which the old one, and the main function, it just wraps it. So it's pretty neat. I mean,
yeah, no, yeah, but I think it'll be nice for usability. You can even see in these lines taken out. This has always kind of bugged me, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think it's nice for usability for sure. Cool. Thank you. Easy. You want to go next?
Okay, so I think something I worked on, I think you already mentioned it, is just you talked about the refactor around simplifying the code base. So I just moved a set of tests to another file, and I think that's what I worked on. And also this week I intend on working on, because I had when I started out, I was basically adding more tests, like the coverage thing. So I was basically focusing on Beerus core. In as much as the coverage has increased, there are still a lot of methods that have not been tested. So I intend on working on that. And I've not really looked into the spike lately, but then I also intend on looking at those. So basically right now, just increasing the test coverage and also working on the spike. But then I don't know if the test coverage I'm talking about is still the same that Luke is talking about. So I would just want to clarify.
Yeah, so Lucas wanted to get into this, I believe. Is that correct, Lucas? Testing around the initial.
This Starknet. If you go to the Starknet directory, there's another mod.rs.
Okay.
And that was the one I was thinking about, because I think if I looked at the code coverage.io thing, I think it was like 50%, at least, unless I wasn't like on the right branch.
Yeah. Okay, is that the one, Easy, just so we're not working on the same one? Is that what you were looking at, or are you looking somewhere else?
Okay, I think most of the tests I'm working on is actually on Beerus.rs inside of the Beerus core.
Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Okay, I'll get you a ticket as well, just so we can track it and make sure we're not overlapping. But yeah, that sounds good.
Also,
Damien, yeah.
Sorry, I think there was already an issue open, but GitHub bot closed it. So maybe you can just open that instead of creating a new one.
Okay. I think you might have even sent it to me. Do you know what issue it was? What number?
I think 498, I think.
This one, let's see, add tester, initialize viewer, select client. Okay. Okay. Yep, I will open that back up. And you already assigned. Okay, awesome. And Damien is not on today, but he has this outline because the other part of the code coverage that we're pretty bad on is the RPC. And he has this outline of basically making the RPC test coverage match what Kakarot is doing. Where is it? But unfortunately he's not on today. Okay, so we'll follow up on that. But yeah, hopefully that gets us in a good direction on core and RPC. Okay, the only other thing I have for you guys is contributions. So sorry, I'm a little bit late. I normally do it on the 3rd, but I will get your Only Dust contributions out by the end of today. Is anyone on the call not onboarded with Only Dust? Okay. Seems like
I think I'm onboarded just like by signing up my GitHub. Is that do I need to put a wallet address somewhere in there? Or?
I think you should be.
Yes, you have a configuration. You have a configuration to define how you want to be paid. It can be wallet, or it can be, if you are a company, you can receive also directly money. So
Okay.
it's just a configuration for that, like Ben is doing now.
Okay, I guess I missed the configuration
In your profile
option.
Yeah.
All right,
Profile,
cool.
you have information, and you have everything you can set up.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Cool. Yep, I'll have that out today, and that's it for me. Anyone got anything else? Did anyone prep a joke?
Hey, sorry that I joined late. I was trying to join from my car. That's why I showed up and left.
No problem. We were doing we're just doing contributor overviews. So if you want to just give your overview.
Yeah, no. So I just took Beerus and got the extension going. I saw that there was a problem with Helios, but I haven't really had a chance to work on it. But I'm hoping to, this week is pretty clear though, so I'll be able to just focus on that without distractions.
Awesome. Yeah, to give you just an overview, are you in the Helios Telegram?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to be with those checkpoints and
yeah,
all that nuttiness.
Yeah. So basically the Helios side broke WASM, and they're going to add compatibility for it back with their next refactor. He said that as of last week, he was hoping to get the refactor done. But he hasn't updated anymore. There's a couple changes I made just in the dependencies in a fork. So I can send.
Yeah, I saw you got it working with a certain version of Helios that they just broke it recently.
Yeah.
And the only issue I saw in Beerus was an icon for the extension that needed to have a transparent border or something.
Okay. Here, let me send you. I mean, what we need to do on Beerus-X is basically set up an interface to take the L1 address. So the RPC for L1, the RPC for L2, and then also a private key. I think we should make it so that we only run it on testnet so that we're not taking anybody's, real private key. But basically get a private key, L1 address, L2 address, and then check the balance of that person's ETH balance on L2, validated by Beerus in WASM. That's kind of low-hanging fruit.
Gotcha. Is there going to be like a consensus mechanism, or is that just like totally not even in scope?
Well, the consensus mechanism will be Helios.
Okay.
And then here's the fork that we can take this offline if you want to. But I can show you how to compile Helios for WASM and Beerus for WASM. Have you done that yet?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't. I thought that was just, is that a flag when you're doing the cargo build?
There is a,
Because in your instructions you had like cargo build, WASM unknown. Okay, we can take this offline, so we're not.
But yeah, that is it. So it is the same. It's the same command, just with the same target flag that we run that we have commented out in our check. So just build instead of check here.
Yeah, gotcha.
But there's also a npm script that helps, so you can just run npm run build here will initiate the Webpack, and then Webpack has a WASM plugin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay. Robin said that you owe us a joke.
People who aren't fathers or dads shouldn't be able to tell dad jokes because that's a faux pas.
That's brilliant. Yeah, the foreign audience here might have to translate it.
Yeah, because pa is a double, it means your father, and you call your dad pa, so like faux pas.
Anyone else got one?
Pretty good.
I like how Tony's like not even like laughing at all, just
He's not a pun fan. Tony, you got one? You got a good joke?
No, I don't have joke. I'm sorry.
All right, fellas.
I will try to translate some from French for the next TC right here.
Oh, that sounds cool.
All right, well, we will catch you on the next one next Monday. Thanks for coming. Thanks for all your hard work, and we'll see you.
Thank you, guys. Take care, and bye.
wait.